Hello Milky friends, Milkstew here with you for another Idol Heroes video. How are you? I hope you're well. Happy Friday. I always look forward to making these Idol Hero videos now every Friday because I've started to work again and it's quite intense what I do. I generally work about 12, 13 hours days. That on a Friday, I just kind of tune out and I look forward to sadly making these videos because it means that I don't have to think about work anymore and I can do something else. Anyway, I hope your week has been well. Today we are here We are here to talk about this week's event, which is, what have they called it? Coven? So you're getting broomsticks, and while we're on this page, let's just talk about what you're gonna get. Obviously, the top prize is the beautiful, sexy Augustus Magic Ball, and everyone's just gonna go for it. Like, it has just so many uses right now as an artifact. Even if it's not the glittery, splendid, or radiant version. Just by itself, just fully upgraded to 6 stars. It's good on a number of heroes. It's good on carries. It is good on Drakes. You could probably use it on Rogan because of the speed attack attributes. So anyone that you want to go quick and have a bit of attack, as opposed to say speed and defense, which you might use the Rui for. This A and B is pretty good. Obviously, you will get much better blocking or defense attributes as you upgrade it. In Ormus's workshop to say something like I don't know. Let's look at the top one. The top one, you're going to get reduces damage received by 250% of the hero's attack. Right? So that's a pretty substantial damage reduction. There used to be a lot more, but they nerfed it, but still, it's still a powerful thing to have. And I'm sure everyone, if they would build 2 Radiant ones. So I'm definitely going to get it. It's going to be my first AMB of my second Splendid AMB I'm going to build. So I need 3 more copies, but we're on our way with 1 copy. And just with 1 copy, it's just infinitely useful. And I probably use it on my Ada, because right now on Ada's I'm running 2 Demon Bells, and I really need a more of an attack focused Ada, so that'd be nice. And then there's everyone else. I mean, the reality with these campaign events is no one ever fucking buys the copy because it's just such a poor use of universal crystal shards. No one buys a copy of ticks either. I mean, it's you're every week during campaign you're going to end up with around 2,400 of the campaign currency for the week, right? Meaning you could probably buy a copy of whatever this hero is, and it's usually a pretty out-of-date hero that no one ever needs. Or you buy 8 orbs, or you buy basically 24 scrolls. You don't really buy anything else, right? You certainly shouldn't be buying this skin, because this skin, it's never a good one, and you will eventually get it after you fuse enough of the yellow ones together. The yellow ones into, so then you make the basic yellow bordered skins, which are these ones. You fuse 5 together into the purple ones, and eventually when you fuse enough of them, you will get all the purple ones. Like I've basically got all the purple ones. I've got all the yellow ones and all the limited purple ones. The other kind of purple one, which is the festival limited ones, you can't get those from fusing the yellow skins. You can only buy them, right, when a special festival event is on. So we don't need to worry about those. But in terms of like just being able to get all the skins, if you're a dirty skin collector, like I was, you're going to get it eventually. So I don't know anyone who would be dumb enough to buy this skin. The other thing is you can also get this from Imps Monopoly, that chest where you can just pick any skin you want, right? So that Emily skin, for example, I still have 2 skin chests, but I just don't have any heroes to use them on because these are still all the old skins, right? She's here, so where is she? That's that skin, right? And you can very, very easily get it from Imps Monopoly. So they really need to do a refresh, if I'm going to be honest, of the shit that you can get here, right? I mean, they need to turn this into any light dark hero selection chest. They need to turn this into just any hero selection chest. They just fucking need to get rid of this. Or like make it like perhaps the more recent skins, like for Rogan, for Drake, the limited ones that they release like with this package. This is a limited skin, right? Not an event limited skin. So eventually he's going to turn up in the Imps Monopoly skin box, and one day he'll probably even turn up here, right? So that's the campaign stuff for this week. You either go for this one with your universal crystal shards that you've saved up, or you buy profit orbs, or you buy scrolls. Like everything else is just, as far as I can tell, a waste of it's just a waste of resources. Unless you really need a Horus, like you're one copy short of an E5 Horus and you got 5 baby Tixes, and you are basically on the cusp of clearing Seal Land 19 in Shadow, then yeah, absolutely. Maybe there's a case for you to buy a Horus there. But beyond that, just there's just so few things that you would actually buy here with the campaign currency every week. It is, you, like I said, always the scrolls or the profit orbs, depending on where you are in the game. And then with the spare change you have left, it's either green stuff or gold. Right? That's basically it. I just, we're going to have, I'm going to say the same thing week on week, and you'll be like, oh, can you tell me about your thoughts? It doesn't change. Wishing Fountain event, nothing special here. It's just, how many loops do you think you want to do to get the feathers? Simply because, right, there's no point in saving for these Wishing Fountain events because it's never associated with any like really, really great event. Like they'll never make it. They'll never hold a wishing coin event such that the end prize is like a pay to win artifact or some like super rare hero. It's always a junky hero, and even the feathers count, the what you get at the end is kind of just trash and rubbish. It's really the only reason why you're spinning the wishing coin. The reason why I spin the wishing fountain wishing coin and I just like do loops is basically to get profit orbs. It's also to get green stuff, spirit. It's also to get artifacts, to sacrifice for more artifacts essence. So when you do go to Ormus's workshop, because it's so darn hard to get food, I'm just, the only other place to get it apart from buying artifacts from the merchant on Celestial Island and from the gem box down here, the only other place to get artifacts is that damn wheel, this one here. So that's why I buy wishing coins. It's basically for those reasons. Green spirit, which everyone needs, artifact essence, and basically it's just another way to get these orbs, as well as obviously the feathers, right? So like I need feathers. I wish I had enough feathers to buy this, but I don't. I am on 347. If I do 4 loops this week, I'll get another 20. I'll be 367. Still be well short, which is sad because I need that second dildo, I think, for my ticks to get it to a radiant version so they can clear Aspen Dungeon, which I'll try again tomorrow. I'll video it. Fingers crossed I'll get there because I've enabled the hell out of him. Void imprinted him. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. So that's the Wishing Fountain event. Nothing special. Like I said, the Hero's Flame Strike. It's like, she's useless for like almost everything. Early game, mid game, whatever game. Just basically the Idle Heroes games. She's just not any good. Then we got a mysterious chest. I'm not going to bother explaining these because the first few are always the same, right? It's all the first 4 chests never ever change. Like, so everyone always buys the first one, second one, because it's just good value in terms of what you get, right? It's just outstanding value. Next 2 people usually don't get. This one with the skin usually no one gets, even though it comes with Chaos Stones, and usually no one buys this Elite Hero Shard one either, even though it comes with a lot of pink dust, because the Elite Hero Shard, it's just got so much junk in there that, like, I don't know why they call it Elite Hero Shards. They should just call it 5-star Hero Shards, because the amount of eliteness in there is so limited that this is just a waste of money. This week's top prize is actually a chest. There's no feathers, and I wish there was feathers. And there's the one week that I wish for feathers being there. But this week's actually, the top prize is an orange artifact exclusive fragment. And the only other place you can buy it for gems is with the merchant on Celestial Island when you go on an adventure. It's 5,000 gems, right? So basically that implies that you're paying an extra 1,000 gems for 30,000 guild coin. So this chest, I would say, is more for a whale spender type person, because you need the food, presumably, for you need the food to upgrade your pay-to-win artifacts, right? So if you're a free-to-play player, it's going to be fucking hard for you to get any pay-to-win artifacts. That orange exclusive artifact fragment is just completely useless for you, in which case then you're really only getting guild coins, and that's the only thing that's valuable for you. So yeah, if you're a free player, I wouldn't buy this chest. I just wouldn't, because this chest is mainly for me now about the orange exclusive artifact as opposed to the guild coin, as nice as 30,000 is. But the reality is for late game players, right? Late game players that spend a bit or have a number of pay to win artifacts they're trying to upgrade, this is probably, you have to buy it. you can just dump these guild coins into like just the second page of tech on guild. But yeah, it's not a must buy for everyone. It's just really only if you are a hardcore player and you're going to be around playing for a while. So that's a mysterious chest. So that's basically the whole event for this week. It's nothing exciting. This is a boring week. Like way back when I was first started playing, when I was a wee lad, they actually split these events where one week was Wishing Fountain by itself. Like there was no campaign, and then the week was basically the campaign event by itself. This event. You can only imagine how boring those 2 weeks were, like whenever they came around, because all you did was spin, 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 and then you get like complete crap at the bottom, and then there was just this event. So the fact that they've stapled these two boring events together, it's kind of like, it doesn't make it any less boring, but at least it gives you more stuff to do. Like I would almost dump Imp's Monopoly into this with these two boring events, just so you have even more to do, and invent a completely new event, if I was to be frank and honest about it. Anyway, let's talk about the Wonders package, which is what you're here about to do. You can see I've already bought it. So the interesting thing about this package, let's for $50 is what you get. You get 5,000 gems, 15 orbs, which are kind of useless, especially given that scrolls are probably more infinitely valuable over the coming months, especially when it comes to Black Friday, which we know is a scroll event, Christmas, which is a scroll event, and Chinese New Year, which is a scroll event, right, for the new heroes. Yeah, they're just giving us like, they're rubbing in our face when they give us complete shit. Gold, there's different values for everyone. Like you can always do with more gold, but I hate paying for gold. Only because I'm a high VIP level and I can buy gold for a relatively cheap price via the Hand of Midas. Like a lot of you can't get the same value I can because I'm VIP 12 now. Yes, unfortunately, I went from 11 to 12 last night when I bought this pack. Unfortunately, a lot of you won't have access to the same value, and gold is infinitely more valuable for you, and that's which increases the value of this pack. So if you're thinking about buying it, you know, if you're low VIP or you're low level, then this pack is just infinitely more valuable. But as a high VIP player, gold becomes just less and less valuable. The nice thing you do get is the Universal Crystal Shards, and this is the contentious piece this week. It's not this skin. This skin is fucking useless. Like, no one's really building Inosuke or whatever this Japanese warrior is, so them giving away this skin, it doesn't make him any better. It doesn't make him any better. No one's building him. Like, he's only good for Realms Gate on Void, from what I can tell from the YouTube videos. He's not even good for Vortex. Even if it was good for Vortex, that'd be a different story, right? Good Vortex heroes are key right now because they help you clear much higher levels to get more of those stellar shards to imprint your hero. So if they're, for me right now, after you've complete all your old PvE events like Aspen Dungeon, Sealand, Tower of Oblivion, all that stuff, the next challenge is Void Vortex. Realms Gate is like, nah, it is what it is. You don't really get much reward for a lot of effort. Void Vortex is where the action's at. That's the new, like, kind of Aspen Dungeon inverted commas, except the currency there is far more valuable. So if they release a hero that's just so killer, that is so valuable for Void Vortex, like what Tix is, build it, build it, build it. Anyway, I digress. They've made a skin for a hero that no one is using. And, well, at least they didn't make one for Flora, because where's the special skin for Flora? Where's the limited skin for Flora, right? Flora is still skinless, whereas the Samurai Pizza Cat, the Slashy Warrior, he's got a skin now, but with Flora, you know, I've got like fucking all these copies sitting around. Where's her skin, right? Flora was just such a mistake, and it's good they make mistakes because that means you don't have to waste your scrolls. But yes, this skin is not Festival limited skin. It is just a normal limited skin, which one day you'll be able to get from the Imp's skin chest, from Imp's Monopoly, or you'll be able to fuse from the basic yellow shards when they decide to, you know, update the fusing system. So I wouldn't go out of my way just to buy this particular skin. So now let's talk about this pack and why specifically I bought it, right? So if you look at the spreadsheet, link in the description below, you look at the spreadsheet and you have my old spreadsheet and you put the numbers in, right? The value it spits out in terms of gems per dollar is about 315, which is just absolutely terrible value, right, for a pack, for one of these special packs, because the average that we're after for good value is about 400 gems per dollar spent. Here you're on 315. The fucking problem with the analysis is how we value the universal crystal shards. So right now, we've basically said one universal crystal shard is 1.25 gems. So for new viewers, you're probably like, how do we get there? Basically, we know the price for the campaign, right? So for the campaign at this screen, we know the price of a scroll. In the real world, we can get a scroll, not the real world, but in the marketplace, in Aspen Dungeon, we can buy a scroll for 125 gems a piece, right? So if that's worth 125 gems a piece for a scroll, and it costs 100 campaign currency, then the conversion factor from campaign currency to implied gem value is 1 to 1.25, and that's how you get all these other values, right? And here, that's basically saying the pay-to-win artifact is 4,500 gems. But then a lot of you I know are saying, well, hang the fuck on. If you could actually really buy a pay-to-win artifact for 4,500 gems, which is less than what it costs to basically buy an orange exclusive artifact, why the fuck wouldn't you just buy the pay-to-win artifact? And the point is you can't, right? You cannot actually buy a pay-to-win artifact for 4,500 gems, and you cannot buy universal crystal shards at 1 to 1.25 conversion factor, right? So then you're probably asking, well, then how do we come up with a better value for artifacts? And the number that I've anchored to for artifact value is basically 20,000. And that's simply, the math is simply 400 feathers, which is what it costs every fortnight or every 2 weeks when Glorious Boost comes around. It's 400 gems to get any of these artifacts, right? But then you're like, well, how did you get the value of a feather? This is where there's a bit of a circular argument. And for you math heads, you're like, Melksul, your math doesn't hold like at all. How I got the 50 gems per feather, because I just basically said this conversion factor was shit, right? How I got the gems, the feather value was basically to say, look, for Elite Light Dark Hero and Elite Not Light Dark Hero, so basically for these heroes, right? If you were to spend feathers to get it, right, then we're basically saying 80 feathers will get you this, and that's worth 3,100 campaign currency, and 60 feathers will get you this, right? So if you do that math, if you do then, for example, you go from the campaign currency to implied gem value using this arguably flawed conversion factor. But let's just accept that it's okay for everything except pay-to-win artifact, because here the implied gem value for one copy of, say, the Dark Hero, like Drake this week, or Carrie if it's any other week, is 3,875, which sounds reasonable, right? So they're saying this is 3,875 gems. They're saying one copy of this is 3,375 gems. I think that sounds reasonable. That's not like, oh my gosh, that's just completely fucked up, right? If you accept that, then it's just simply a matter of saying, okay, if you accept that gem value, you divide it by 80 to get the per gem value of a feather, right? And that gives you around about 50, 52, depending on which one of these you use, right? So that's how we came up with a per feather value of 50 gems. And so 400 times 50 is 20,000, right? And so when you take a step back and you say, okay, so then a pay-to-win artifact is 20,000 gems. Does that sound right? To me, it does, right? Some would argue it's even more. If it's even more, just plug in whatever value you believe to be true. The point is, it's not this deeply full number of 4,500. It's 20,000. So if you accept that logic and that math up to this point in time, then the next thing I need to take you through is, well, okay, this point here, universal crystal shards to get to pay-to-win artifacts, 1,200. Like, what does that mean? So every week when you do every week when there's a campaign, right? When a campaign rolls around, the campaign currency, you're going to end up with 2,400 of the campaign currency on average. Like, I've never gone below 2,400 every time I've done it this year. All right. So then you'll be 1,200 campaign currency short to get this Augustus Magic Ball or the artifact for that week. And there's only basically 2 ways to get more universal crystal shards, or 3 ways. One way is to buy the special package, which is this one. The other way is the monthly event, right? This monthly card. You can buy more there, or you just get however many you get just if you don't pay, right? The point is, you're always going to be 1,200 short every month on average. So therefore, I've said, look, that 20,000, it's binary. You either get the artifact and you spend 12,000 universal crystal shards to get there, or you get none of it, right? So what I've basically said is, because with this event, you get 2,400 gems, not gems, 2,400 of the campaign currency basically for free, right? Really, universal crystal shards should be valued or be associated with the artifact on the basis that, because you can't, at 1,200. Let me take a step back, right? So you can't sort of say, ooh, because you get the 2,400 campaign currency for week, and because it's a guaranteed thing, you sort of have to leave that equation to the side, because you're going to get it for free. It's like you can't count it. It's not a sunk cost, but it's just assumed to be a given that you're going to get it, right? And so therefore, the real ask for, if you want to get the artifact for that week, is you got to spend 1,200 universal crystal shards. And if you spend that, on the proviso you spend that, you're going to get that pay to win artifact, which is worth 20,000 gems. So then if you accept this logic, right, along with the numbers here, then it's simply a matter of 20,000 divided by 1,200. The universal crystal shard goes up in value by a factor of over 10, right? It went from 1.25 per universal crystal shards to 16, 17 gems per universal crystal shard. And that just completely changes the math for this pack, right? Because this all of a sudden, this gem thingamabob is worth a factor of 10. And so if we now plug in the new numbers, right? The new numbers. So if I go there, 1.25, that's got to change to 16.67. Then the value of that pack goes from about, 330 or something like that, 331 gems per dollar spent, to, what does it go to? It's probably too tiny for you to see, but you're just going to have to listen to my audio. 407 gems per dollar spent, which is in the attractive range for value when we consider these special value packs. Right, so that's why I bought it this week, because I did the math again, and it worked out. Arguably, you should be like, well, you should save your money for Black Friday. Yeah, I completely fucked myself. But there's some special funding that I've set aside for Black Friday, which I unfortunately can't touch because there's something associated with it. Russian guy, you know what I'm talking about. But leaving that aside. I'm not doing anything dodgy, I swear. The pack is good value, right? If you're like, if you don't have like just money coming in with your anus, just don't buy it. Like, just save for Black Friday. You're gonna get much better value than this on Black Friday. But if you've got money because you're working again, you're not like a bum like I am, then yeah. Well, if your GDP or your GDP's like sugar baby, just buy it. So let's look at next week's event. So next week is obviously Imp's Adventure, which is good. Shelter Mission, there's nothing special about these heroes. I want to say something, but what can I say about them? Unimax is kind of like, it'd be interesting to see how useful and good he is in Vortex, but no one's dumb enough to build him to that higher standard. Gustin's kind of like, Oberon, he is an interesting character. Are we able to void enable him? If you give Oberon enough speed, no, we can't. If you actually gave Oberon enough speed, an Oberon army could be useful. What I use Oberon army now for basically is Guild War, and Interdimensional Arena, level 100. So, yeah, I mean, the reality is there's nothing special about these Shelter Mission heroes. We're just going to do them for extra dice. And then what I'm particularly excited about, because it is Thanksgiving next week, they're going to do a special event, which it was already planned for, and we flagged it after the stream that the Idle Heroes developers had on Dough a couple of weeks ago, that absolute debacle of a stream. They basically said there was going to be a Thanksgiving event, so I'll be interested to see what it brings us. Obviously, everyone's hoping for a pay-to-win artifact chest of some sort, but you're probably going to have to pay to get it. But that's fine. It's just a question of how much I have to pay, because right now, if you're trying to work out, how much artifacts cost, you actually had to spend money on it. The only way to get artifacts and to pay for it genuinely, consistently, is with basically when this campaign rolls around, right? And so, as a benchmark, when I try and work out whether or not to pay to buy artifacts, I basically take this as the benchmark. Because on any given week, like I said, you're going to get 2,400 of the campaign currency, leaving you 1,200 short. So then it's a question of, how do I get 1,200 of these campaign currencies for the week? And the answer is, you got to buy two $100 packs. So basically, during a campaign currency week, it's going to cost you $200 to buy this artifact, and that's the benchmark I use. If it's going to cost me less than $200, like $150, even though $150 sounds like a shitload, right? The reality is the only other way to pay and knowingly get an artifact is from campaign and from you buying these value packs. There is no other way to get artifacts, to pay for artifacts, except this way, consistently, right? So that's the benchmark I use. So if they're going to say, if they say spend $100, you have to buy $100 worth of shit, and it's good value to get that pay to win artifacts, I'm going to spend the $100. That's how the math works out for me. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Join me tomorrow for my Aspen dungeon run. Hopefully, fingers crossed, things will work out. But have a great weekend ahead. And like I said, happy Friday. Thanks for watching.